When we talk about the return of Terra Luna Classic, well, we talk about a few things: burning the circulating supply, but equally building applications and allowing new investors to come in to the project. Ultimately, that's how new projects or all projects survive, by investor money coming in and equally being interactive with the blockchain. Well, in this video, we're going to take a look at a pretty interesting proposal coming out in where we are building applications that support the long-term longevity of Terra Luna Classic, and equally, everybody's talking about the mass exodus of staking. I'm going to bring you some interesting information on that. Now, let's take a look at the global market. We did see a slight cooling off on the back of a nice move yesterday across most of the global market. We see 853.62 billion, with most people purchasing Bitcoin, as you can see there, by Bitcoin dominance moving slightly up. Just down 0.72%, you can see Bitcoin 17.1, ETH at 12.67, with the majority trending between 1 and 2.5% as we move down the list. Only a couple of projects actually in the green on the 24-hour. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we don't start to see a move maybe later on today or certainly into tomorrow. We'll take a look at the technicals in just one second. But Terra Luna Classic currently sitting at 17.18, so we are favorable from our pump yesterday. It was about 9%. We've pulled back about 4 on the day. 72.4 million is our daily volume, maintaining that $1.028 billion market cap. Now, what's encouraging with this is the circulating supply is continuing to reduce, albeit it's a pretty slow rate, but nevertheless, it is reducing. If we take a look at that chart we drew, I absolutely called this on the live stream. I thought we would see either a slight increase or ever so slight decrease on the day, hovering around that 17.1 level, but still well within the charts. Now, what we are doing is trending towards this 50-day EMA as this is on its way down, and I think this towards the end of the week, we could start to see some movement, potentially, you know, Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday, we could see some positive movement. If the market moves with us, I think Terra Luna Classic certainly could see some upside moves. Now, before we go any further in this video and really dive into the Terraform backend infrastructure and assets, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We talk about Terra Luna Classic as well as everything else going on in the world of cryptocurrency. And if you like this video, please leave a like on it. It pushes up in the old algorithm, lets people know we are here. Now, if you saw my video yesterday, I talked about Rebel Station. So this is the UI that allows users and investors to interact with the Terra Luna Classic blockchain. It has no store of value. It has no store of your coins or anything like that. It is purely a user interface to interact with the blockchain. Now, one of the proposals put towards the community, which currently is at a 95% pass rate, is the separation from the TFL backend infrastructure and assets. Now, this is one of those that we are looking to step in the right direction from a break away from Terraform Labs and ultimately become our own self-sufficient. Now, this doesn't come without risk, given the fact that we've been so reliant on TFL, and ultimately they are or were the original creators of this. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go and be better, but we have to be mindful, in particular, what is coming as part of this proposal. But for me, I do think it's the right thing. What we have had announced is that Terraform Labs will continue to support Terra Station up to when we are taking, when we're at a $40 billion market cap. Now, there's two things that's really interesting with that. A, the fact that that specific number is attributed to that course of action, and equally the fact that that's still a possibility. And I think when Terraform Labs are talking about that, you know that there is definitely a sentiment of that. Now, what does this proposal come out? Well, there's 4 main points that I wanted to cover off, and ultimately this is the proposal and the scale of works that they are putting together. It says the Rebel Station Chrome extension and website are fully hosted by Terra Rebels, but still rely on significant parts of the TFL's backend assets and infrastructure. And if you are seeing your Terra Station being a bit funny, whether that's the staking rewards are not pulling through properly or whether you can't see your validators, it is all due to these backends and these endpoints in which they're interacting with and having problems on there. So it says, we therefore propose we must urgently perform work to separate the Terra Station website and Chrome extension from TFL. The work has the following components: the provision of backend infrastructure, the refactor Rebel Station front end and reference, the removal of the TFL proprietary private APIs, and also the testing and deployment to a sum of $150,000. Now, here is the really interesting part in what they want to bring to us: a mobile application refactoring to function with the TR backend infrastructure. So if you have got Terra Station on your phones, as an example, ultimately that's what this is setting out, that you would have the Rebel Station doing exactly the same thing. The desktop application would then become Terra Rebels Station, which you can get now. It is a Chrome extension you get, the Finder application, and also ongoing technical support. And that for me is the bigger important bit. It allows us to grow, develop, and move forward with the Terra station, with the Rebel station part of this, and I do think that is important. Now, the big question is it worth $150,000? Well, the question has to be put to the community, which we're seeing here. So far, people say yes. Now, when we look at the validators that have voted, we haven't had any of the big validators. We've got obviously Classy's there, Crypto King, Vegas, StakeBin, all voting on yes. We are still awaiting these huge validators to propose it. Now, interestingly, when you've got someone with 17.5%, pretty much wherever they vote probably would make the sentiment of this vote go that way. So we're gonna have to really see what the bigger validators do, and it's certainly going to be interesting. What's my take on it? I think it's expensive for $150,000. However, I do think for the longevity of the project and ultimately that separation from TFL, albeit I don't think we'll ever 100% get away from them, it might just be the right thing. Now, one thing I do want to cover off, and I see this on a number of other videos, is the staking amount, where we see a significant number of people potentially staking their Lunar Classic, and we saw a mass exodus when the sky was falling. Terra Station was supposedly not going to be supported. Now, we didn't see it as big as what people made out. You can see here the movement was very small. In fairness, maybe only a couple of billion or tens of billion coins, but we are going to see this come back in. We're currently sitting at 13.7% staked, which is huge. What we could see after those 21 days, as the stabilization of the price comes in, hovering around that 17 level, is a big influx of staking rewards, and we might just see the pump that we've been talking about. That's going to do it for this video. Interesting to see what's going on with that. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you Terra Station or are you Rebel Station? And hopefully we'll see this move on Terra Lunar Classic very, very soon. As ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.